Alrighty guys, welcome back to another trading day. Today is the 6th. It is currently a Wednesday, in specific a no news Wednesday. Today, I don't know if it's going to be high probable. I don't know if it's going to be lower probable. It's kind of hard to tell right now. Let's go into the chart. So on the daily chart, we are displacing down. We come up, we rebalance into this little volume imbalance right here. So we rebalance into that volume balance and we get some movement to the downside. Okay, going down on the lower time frame, like the 4 hour. We see the displacement, we see the rebalance. We go to this right here. We've rebalanced into premium of this range, and then we displace to the downside, disrespecting CE of this 4 hour. Now it looks like we are starting to come up a little bit. We also have a 4 hour fair value gap right in here. Let's drop down to the hourly. Do this real quick. Okay. So on the hourly chart, we've come down, we've rebalanced into this hourly BISI right here. So you can see like that right there. And then we're starting to move up higher. So we have a draw on liquidity right here. We have buy side liquidity resting right there. We also have an SMT right here. I guess that's why we are moving down, but I'll just disregard that for right now. Drop down to the 15-minute. Let's see where the previous session highs and lows are. So this would be London high right up here. And then London lows was already taken, and then we have our Asia lows down here. Okay, so we're kind of within this range here. I just want to see what gets manipulated. 9:30 just opened, so let's drop down. Well, so we actually have an SMT right here. I'll keep that in mind. Move this real quick. So we have an SMT at that low. It looks like ES might want to go for this Asia low down there. Just mark that out real quick. Okay. So that SMT looks like it's holding pretty well. We are coming up and displacing higher. So dropping down, so 9:30 opens up, we come down, we manipulate this little internal low. So we've taken out sell side right there. We've also just taken out buy side right up here. Then we have this London high still resting right there. That 4 hour. So after that London high gets taken, we also do have buy side right up here. So I'll keep that in mind if we do come up and take out London. So we have the 9:30, this 9:31 displacement above the highs right here. So we have PXH. So we got PXH at this little swing high right here because we've closed above it. And then we've displaced to it, and then we've rebalanced into this PXH, and then we're getting some displacement to the downside right there. Yes, not really doing much. Put this as turtle soup right there. Let's see if we can get a rebalance into this BISI right here. So a couple things can happen. We can go like this, we can rebalance, and then we can displace higher and do something like that. Or we can rebalance, not really displace higher, internal manipulation, then when we displace. Something like that. Or we can come down, disrespect, and then we go for that low, that low, that low. But it looks like we are more on the bullish side right now, considering we have that SMT, that hourly rebalance, the displacement to the upside. This looks way more bullish than bearish. So we're getting some displacement to the upside. It's still way too premature, but looks like London highs wants to get taken. I've noticed recently in price action that we aren't rebalancing into PDA rates too much. We're kind of just displacing into the like towards the draw and liquidity. That's kind of what I've been noticing. All right, so London high gets swept right there. Let's see if it's gonna just be soup and then we have a reversal, or just kind of build up structure and then we kind of displace above it, acting as PXH, and then we go for the draw on liquidity. But we also do have an SMT with London highs, so big SMT. So we get this order block here with standard deviation lying around that swing low. So let's see if we can maybe come up, respect it, and then we get displacement to the downside. So came up, respected, consequent encroachment of the order block. Looks like we were displaced into the downside right now. So we have standard deviation lying right here and also down here around for that low. I think this LR down here is a pretty good target. Wow, look at that displacement. Okay. So we've completely displaced lower after taking out London highs. 1 minute IFEG. Now I want to see if 940 can maybe do something like this. Rebalance and then displacement. We will see how this candle closes right here, because we did just have standard deviation of this order block. Negative 2.5. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of a reaction off of it. And then this is also where midnight lies. So got to be careful. We did displace through PXH, so we can disregard that. Now, if this entire civvy here gets disrespected, then different story. This is also total sweep on every time frame at London highs. So we're kind of bouncing off the standard deviation. Let me mark out this right here. I'd like to see if we can rebalance and then respect it, or if we're going to completely displace through and then continue up higher for this buy side, and also this 4 hour for value gap on top. I'm still a little bit more bearish though. So oh, we already have our manipulation to go short. We already have our London high manipulation. So it looks like we are kind of bouncing off of this CIBI. But ideally, I'd like to see CE get met. Okay, so decent rejection off of that SIBI right there. Okay, so we are starting to displace lower. Let's see any draws for ES. No, just those lows down there. So we have turtle soup at that low. So we just turtle soup that low. It's about to be 940. We do have this little internal high. I think it'd be cool if we can come up, internal manipulation, and then we displace lower. Or if price is truly bearish, it will just continue to displace to the downside. So let's see what happens at this little internal high. If we can come up and manipulate it, or we are going to do something like this. So this wouldn't be a bad entry, but just targeting, 9 points is not ideal for me. So I'm gonna wait. Still have a pretty large SMT. We are pretty heavy on the day though. I do have this little PXL right here from this internal low that we've closed below. So we have internal PXL. So I'm not seeing much. I'd like to see displacement to the upside, and then I'd like to see internal manipulation, and then we can get a sell-off. But entering here wouldn't really make sense because your stop loss would be right here, 23 points, and then your take profit would be around 9 points, 9 to 10 points. So obviously nothing to take right there. Just gonna be patient. It's still it's still a little premature, but like I said, I might be looking for entries within the 5-minute mark, before 5 minutes of 9:45. So, but there's obviously nothing for me to even take here. So let's see what happens. Because we did have a little internal manipulation right there. Last down close candle followed by an up close candle after the manipulation. So it looks like we are getting some displacement to the upside after this small internal liquidity sweep. Now, if you were to catch along to this little draw, that wouldn't be bad. A little bit negative RR. So yeah, this would be working out. But I want to see how the narrative forms after taking out that internal high. Are we going to displace above CE of this BISI? Or sorry, the CIBI? Or are we going to respect it and then displace lower? It's very hard to tell. I'm still more on the bearish side considering we left these lows here. And then we've taken out London highs. We've displaced through this BISI, through this whole bullish range. So I'm a little bit more bearish still. But it all really depends on what happens within this CIBI right here. So let's see where the displacement is. It's 9:44. So right now is a valid time to be looking for entries. But like I said, it just depends, honestly. Come on, let's take out this high. There we go. So I've taken out this high. If this candle closes extremely bullish, stop loss is going to have to be kind of large. Take profit would be up there. Enter long there. Take profit at the first draw on liquidity. No SMT. So we should still take out that draw. Looks like we are getting some rejection off of this wick here. So let's see, we're rebouncing into this BISI right here. Oh wow, okay. Not sure why we're kind of going lower. I'm definitely anticipating this draw on liquidity to get met up there. Still holding confident in this draw. Not moving my stop loss. Did get edged though, I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully my TP doesn't get edged. I need to watch these two pairs. And I need to make sure I don't get cooked. This is a little bit negative RR, but I like where my stop loss is. So now we're seeing some good displacement. There we go. Alright, so that worked out. Small little win. I guess like, that was honestly like a brainless entry. That was just so easy. Man, all my students taking the same trade. You know, that shit just makes me so happy. 22 points. Slightly negative RR. Don't care though, because that still worked out beautifully. But nice. There we go. Alright, so that's it for the trade recap. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.